Hey guys, Cinderash here, and this is going to be a little bit of a weird episode. I believe I have about 2 episodes where the audio file for me talking actually got corrupted. So when you see this episode and the next episode, and any other episodes until it's just me talking in game again, are just going to be little voiceovers, so that way we have something going on besides just the gameplay. More or less, I'll just kind of talk about what was happening during the videos, what was happening during the scenes, and just kind of explain why we were doing what we were doing. I'm sorry that happened. I prefer to do live commentary for all my stuff. I don't really like doing voiceovers. Voiceovers feel kind of forced. They feel a little... What's a good word for it? They feel disingenuine. Especially when you're doing something like an Ironman, where like your thoughts, your process, everything that you're doing makes sense in the moment of when you're doing it. So you always make sure that you're, talking, explaining why you're doing something, continuing to do stuff with that. Because like in this scenario, I honestly can't even remember why I was doing a 5-story downsizer building. I can only assume that it was either me or Mozzarella Marmalade, that we had to do a very specific task involving either boss bots or downsizers or a 5-story building. We are in the Berg, so there's a very good chance that we were doing anything related to one of those 3, but more likely it was probably Little Old Man task. If it's not Little Old Man, then it's probably either the next episode or one of the ones upcoming, because not the next episode, but assuming that all 5 episodes got condensed, we're probably looking at the episodes as a whole for the Berg coming to a close pretty soon and moving on to Donald's Dreamland, which I'm really excited about because Donald's Dreamland is my favorite area, but now that Toonfest has been announced, that we have a new place coming that's going to be all beach and sand castles and stuff, I'm very excited for that. I'm really hoping that a lot of people take some of the things they say a little more seriously, because I was surprised by the amount of people who didn't believe me when I said that executive cogs were coming. And it's really sad because, I felt I did a very good job on that episode, picking it apart and knowing what was coming. And I know for a fact when that new content drops, they estimated September for when Cartoonable happens, but, it's Toontown Rewritten, so we have to wait and see what actually does happen. But I was pretty happy with myself that I was able to discern that there was, new cogs coming, basically, and they were going to have new personalities, and they're going to function a little bit differently than they do now, and they're only going to be hard mode specific. So it sounds like they're condensing everything into, one elevator. You either do normal or you do hard. Or they quoted it as easy, either doing easy mode or hard mode. There was no in between. And I'm excited to go through with you guys and write some guides up for them and everything, and I can't wait. Mozzarella finally got her wedding cakes. That's awesome. Glad to see. Although by the end of the Berg episodes, she stops playing. So that's one friend that we lose, just because they decide that they don't want to play Toontown anymore. They find it kind of boring, and I understand why. Her, like a bunch of other people in Toontown, myself included, find that sound is the end-all be-all, because it essentially boils down to you either use sound and it goes very quickly and people are pretty generally chill with it, or you get people who don't have sound or people who don't want to use sound, and people just berate them and just give them the roughest time and just basically are just complete a-holes to the whole thing. And I really don't like that aspect. There's a lot of things that I also personally just don't like about Toontown. that I'll get into at the very end of the Ironman when I do a final conclusion wrap up and just kind of have a good talk with everybody that I participated in the Ironman with that became my friend, or just any of the subscribers that found me on Toontown. And, you know, if any of you are still online, please, by all means, you can always find me, talk to me. I'm always doing something. It's usually either, like, VPs. Right now, I'm doing a lot of CFOs to get ready for the Bean Fest that is eventually coming up. Because, I got through a good bit. And I got to CFOs. I got the CFO suit maxed. So, you know, little spoiler alert for y'all. But I did get up that far at least. And then I plan on doing a Bean Festival for everybody post CFO episode. And I'll let you guys know during the CFO episode what day, time that I plan on doing it. So that way we can all just kind of hang out, talk, enjoy ourselves, toss some beans. You know, you can thank each other if you want. I mostly just want to be able to talk to you guys, just hang out with the community, see what you guys are all about, and just kind of talk about what your guys' favorite moments from, you know, any time from the start to the time that the CFO episode comes out, that I'd really like to see what you guys have to say about it. I'd also like you guys to just befriend each other, be really nice to each other, and just kind of hang out. Now, I know for this one, for the bottom feeders, I know for this track in particular, when we're doing this building, I needed a egg from the bottom feeders for some reason. Or I needed something else from bottom feeders, so there was an invasion going on, so we had to pick it up. So that's not like a big of an issue. I'm also excited to do something coming up pretty soon. Right now is the 6th. Or it's June 17th. So 6/17/23, or 17/6/23 for anybody who's not in the States. And in ADA, they're doing a racing group. And I'm excited to give my first shot at racing with ADA to see if I can win a Flippy. Because the little Flippy stuffy looks adorable, and I would love to get one.
Hey guys, welcome back.
It's a 2-part elimination, so we'll have to see how that actually goes through. So the winner that never loses in racing gets a Flippy. Second place gets the Toonfest exclusive code, which is really cool. I'd love to get that just for the little K-Cat. Sadly, I was unable to attend Toonfest because the day of Toonfest I went under for experimental surgery on my back. So that basically just kind of took me out of commission, which I'm really sad about because I would have loved to have gone to Toonfest with you guys. Just met a lot of you. I know a lot of you that either watch this content are probably a little bit older than me. I am only 28, which might seem older to a lot of you because my voice, I just kind of sound young. Sound like I should be like 20 or younger. And I completely get that. Just one of those things where my my voice just kind of never changed. But it is what it is. So it seems like I didn't get my item, or whatever happened. Maybe this is also a 5-story, so we went back in to try and get some more. It's crazy to me to see how much I've changed throughout Toontown, looking back on these older episodes, especially ones like this where I had my OG get up from the time that I started up until, I think, Donald's, roughly. Donald's Dreamland is when I start to change my outfit entirely. Mostly just because, like, I wanted to look good. I wanted some good clothing, but I just never got the ability to get the good clothing. Because a lot of good clothing comes from the catalog, and a lot of the catalog stuff is time gated. Just like with gardening. If I knew gardening didn't require 4 months straight, like the day you start till the day you end is 4 months, I would have been done with gardening and a bunch of other stuff a lot quicker. I feel like the Ironman would have finished or gotten done within a quicker time frame if I just didn't have to be gate capped. Now, you notice that Monster was using a magnet and I still decided to use sound, and the reason was because it's a training, really, at this point. Everything's level 5, it's not going to hurt us too much. That was an unfortunate throw that missed, but it is what it is. But she's training, I'm training. I want to make sure I get my sound up because once I hit level, Laugh 80, I'm going to start with Cellbot. And with Cellbot, people realistically won't take you at 80 Laugh unless they have a few reasons. And the reasons being is that you don't have full sound, your laugh is low, all that kind of stuff. So it makes for a really bad time being me in that situation, because like with most people in Toontown, they have this issue where if you don't meet their standards, you're not allowed to come. And everybody's standards range wildly from like needing full sound all the way to having to be a certain laugh, as well as have certain gags and make sure that you have certain abilities and whatnot. And while when I started off in Toontown, I didn't really care. I'd take about everybody. I slowly began to understand why. And it's not for anything malicious in particular. It's so that you don't go sad. In VP, when I was doing my VPs, and I'll showcase my like maxing VP, or one of the other VPs that I thought was really interesting and fun, since I record everything. I recorded all, like, I think it takes about 110 runs of VP to get to max, or maybe less. I don't know. I never really counted them. I just kind of noted, like, this is VP 1. So, like, I have VP 1-1, which would be Cold Collar 1, all the way up to Mr. Hollywood 50. I have it all like recorded, and I labeled the first one and the last one, and then everything that was in between, I just condensed it and then pushed it into the hold and put it into a file. But yeah, that was unfortunate. I'm sorry to Ducky Momo if you ever watch this. I apologize. I was just trying to get through the content as quickly as possible, just to kind of like pump these episodes out, because I have deadlines basically, and they're not like deadlines for editors, it's deadlines for myself. So I have this issue where I'm disabled because I'm chronically ill, I'm chronically sick. I don't have a very good quality of life, so that's kind of why I do YouTube. I don't ever expect to blow up really big. I don't ever expect to be like the next Mega Snoop or anything. But every 3 months I go through a debilitating surgery that leaves me on bed rest for an entire month where I'm unable to do anything. So it makes it so that I have to have my editor, where I have to give him like 10 episodes to cover my time that I'm down and out due to my surgeries. Because the week before the surgery, I have to stop my medication. So I have to stop taking my multivitamin, I have to stop taking my medical marijuana, I have to stop taking my Percocet, and I have to stop taking my ibuprofen. And that's a lot of pain medicine, and I understand, but it's just kind of the way I have to live every day of my life. I have to take, 5 milligrams of medical marijuana, I have to take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, and then I have to take, like, 325 milligrams of Percocet just to be able to function. But during that first week where I have to, like, cut all that off, my pain is so bad that I just snap at everybody and I'm just a complete asshole. So I just tend to avoid people, and I tend to avoid recording because, like, I'll get really snippy, and it's not anybody's fault but my own, in a sense. Even though I'm chronically ill, I still have to take responsibility for my actions, and the best way to do that is to avoid recording and avoid being around people. Then the day of surgery, obviously I can't do anything because I'm all loopy from the anesthesia, even though I have to go through a special procedure. I'm allergic to anesthesia because of how many surgeries I've had. I've had 37 back surgeries. At the time of recording, I've had 36, so I've had another one since then. And what I had to do was just kind of take care of myself during that time. And then about a little bit after the surgery, I'm on bed rest. I can start taking my pain medication again. I can start taking everything else to try and help me heal, which never actually happens, hence my chronic disability and chronic illness. So it's all good though. After that month, I usually have about 2 months where I'm able to do a little bit of stuff. Typically, it's very limited, but a lot of what I could do is I could come back, I could start recording, and basically what I have to do is, like, for many of these episodes, I pump out, 2-hour episodes each time, but some days, like, if I feel really good, I'll pump out 6 hours into Toontown, and that'll be like 3 or more episodes depending on how my editor fixes it up, and then that allows me to kind of just take care of myself and push forward. So yeah, I think these were recorded back before my surgery in January. I know that my surgery in January put me off for another month because I was on bed rest. I think that time they took out about 12 centimeters of my back tissue and muscle that was basically necrotic. So they stitched me up, and then I had 30 stitches, give or take. So I could barely move, and the pain was excruciating until she could actually take the stitches out. And then I felt pretty good, and surprisingly, that wound has permanently healed. She's the only doctor that I've had out of, like, the 15 different doctors that I've had who actually fixed it, like, an issue. So I'm very ecstatic for that. And now, the experimental surgery that I had recently, on the 24th of May, hopefully that heals up fully and I'm good, and that'll be my last surgery, and then hopefully I can become productive member of society, which means that YouTube videos will slow down unless I like somehow blow up for some reason. Highly doubt it, but at the same time, you know, YouTube would be a great avenue for me as a career, just because if I could put out videos, that's awesome, and then from those videos I can get paid, and then if I'm on bed rest, that'll, you know, from the ad revenue and everything, that'll be able to help me afford, like, getting fast food for the entire month, or just anything delivered to my house, so that way I could, you know, try and take care of myself. It's rough, but it is what it is. So it seems now we're on to bigwigs, so this is probably where I needed a keyboard from a bigwig. And I'm very excited about it. I also forgot that, like, earlier in the episode, but again, that would have been anywhere from 2 to 4 hours of content that I completely blanked on the fact that Monstie maxed her cake so that she does extra damage. So I guess we weren't on to buildings just yet, but we needed specific cogs. So I guess that makes sense to me now. But I should be able to get my keyboard, and then I think after my keyboard, it's a little bit of fishing, a little bit of some other stuff, and then we're just immediately ready to go. I'm having a little bit of trouble of what I actually want to do. I know that now that Monstie has her throw maxed, it basically, I don't want to say it negates me, but she was very much a person who, once she maxed the gag track, she didn't want to use it anymore. So, like, she maxed sound eventually, didn't want to use sound. She maxed throw, eventually didn't want to use sound. So she started using a lot of squirt tags. So I think that's how I got close to my rain cloud, if not how I got my rain cloud, before she ended up quitting. I know she quit before Donald Stream won, so I'm not exactly sure where I remember all my gags falling. Other than I know that I maxed sound, doing factories so that I could do VP. I know I maxed lure and tuna in CFOs and bullions. And then I think somewhere along the line in there I maxed throw and squirt. And then I know for a fact my last gag that I still need to max is trap. And I'm doing that while I'm working on CJs right now. Or well, district offices and stuff so that I can get my CJ suit to do CJs. But that's also concerning for me because I've never done any content past Cashbot, because that's where I stopped in TTO, because even though my parents were affluent, they refused to pay the $15 a month for Toontown. But I also asked and opted for them to do the 6 months for me, so that way it'd be cheaper, and they still declined that. Which I never understood why. Like, they were also chronically sick, because they were older. They were in their 50s and 60s, when I was still young. So it kind of made it hard for me to connect with them or to do anything with friends, because I was always taking care of my mother, doing her insulin checks, doing blood pressure checks, all that stuff, making sure her pacemaker was working. And then my dad had polio, so I had to make sure that I could help him out in case he needed any help, as well as anything else like that. Well, this episode's gonna be wrapping up pretty soon. So I just want to say thank you guys for supporting the content as always. I appreciate all of you. And I hope you guys have a great day.